There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, it won't be long to make our dreams come true for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? Master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher.
There's a concentrated stop. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? Master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher.
There's a concentrated stop. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? Master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? The master, master teacher. Freedom for 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 the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because when is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master.
Baut Habub Ame Mushkas Nakuk Kadur Kawan Kalel Afaf Nakuk Arut Jawef Papaut Ame Wasef Ame Aradni Kaun Laye Pakoe Jawef Papaut Anuki Yabet Biye Nafashni Papaut Kaun Anuki Papaut Kador Nakuk Kador Papaut Amul Nakuk Amul. Rahubat Moisa, Rahubat, welcome to another question answer class of Rahubat Moisa, Rahubat. Okay, with myself, Usia Karaye, student teacher of the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. Kobina Z. York Okran. Okay, 33 degrees, 360 to 360, 70, 720 degrees of the spiritual and mental and physical. Okay, as a student teacher, I'll do my best to convey the affirmation Wu-Wapu to the best of my ability. We have student teachers also around that will be able to support or add or build on what I've taught. I'm not here professing I know everything. That's the master teacher. He's giving us the information. I humbly stand before you to teach and do my best. So without any further, I will start the class by starting with so we got two thing here. We got a title. It says Own Your Power. Own your power. Moisha, own your power. What does that mean? Own your power. Talk to me. Well, Rahubat, use your mic, please.
Would you say that's sovereignty over yourself?
Could you elaborate a bit more?
Knowing yourself and having regulation over yourself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and obviously physically, and freely expressing truly who you are.
Good. Nice, lovely. Anyone else? Anyone online? Anyone on Clubhouse? It's all right, don't be shy. We're all family here, you know. That's what we need to realize. This is part of the owning of power. Realize that we are one. Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, that was part. Starseed awakening, sound right reasoning. Yeah. How many of us realize that we are of the stars? We're not from.
You have a hand up.
How many have realized that? Contemplated that? Felt that? Yeah. Or is this
Jamal, you have a
in
hand
the
up
working
on
mind? It's okay, because you can ask your questions on it. How is it? How is it that we're star seeds? How did we get here? So all the questions that will stimulate the neurons, get it firing, get you to remember who you are again. Okay? Okay. Now, I'm going to start with these questions. So we have, well, Clubhouse doesn't, I don't lose people on Clubhouse because it tends to just shut me down. Can I be heard on Clubhouse? Just check in. And also, can I be heard clearly on Zoom?
Sure.
Well, I think I just heard someone say Tua. Okay. Right. Let me just bring it up. Right. Who's ever heard of 19 ways to be divine? Anyone heard of that?
No.
Sort of ish?
So yeah.
Yeah, you heard it through one of the master teachers. Yeah. 19 ways to divine. The master teacher gave us this pretty much for like student teachers, and it can be applicable to everybody who is growing into their divinity. Okay. Right. So I'm going to put these testaments, these statements. I wanted to see how you view it, because then it'll stimulate and start to realize that that is who you are. Right. First, number 1, 19 ways to be divine. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Who agrees? Who disagrees?
I agree. Agrees.
Why do you agree? And how can you attain cleanliness, which is next to godliness, or is godliness? How do you attain that?
Since I started coming here,
Mm.
I felt more the need to do inner cleansing, physical inner cleansing through using senna herbs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I can come to class, I feel like I need to be cleansed physically
Well,
because sorry to mention the Bible, but the Bible says that you want to put new stuff in yourself, you have to clean up first. You can't put new truth into a dirty body or
truth is truth.
or wineskin, as it says in that book.
Truth is true. You know, mind you know, we don't disrespect that scripture because it has certain guidelines, you see what I'm saying, for people who need it. You with me? Yeah. So it's not like, oh, let's ban the Bible and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because people who need it at that particular time, there's a set of guidelines in there. You with me? It's the other aspects of it that traps people. But things like do good unto each other, do you know what I mean? You know, things are precious, your name is precious, you know, those kind of like in Psalms and other books that gives you, you know, words of wisdom. Know that these actual things, remember the Bible was copied from other scriptures, so you find it in the exactly, you know, I mean, Nope is actually one of the people where you find all of these axioms, they call it. Yeah, these axioms of certain words that inspire you or guide you, etc. So that was all copied into that. So it's a, you know, it's a, as a book of guidance.
Well, Moses was it's schooled in all the wisdom of Egypt.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So yeah, you know, so it adds to the authenticity in that respect. Anybody else online regarding cleanliness is next to godliness? And how do you go about achieving that? Not to worry. I mean, I'm not going to expand too much on it because I mean we're pretty much there. Takuzwa? Robert.
I like to say that we was talking earlier about how sound right reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing the truth is gonna help you cleanse yourself.
Yes, good point. All of those facets are not wrong. You with me? It's the main thing though is the application. How many of us start and then we drop back off? Start and then we drop back off. So something I was studying myself because we're all creature of habits, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? I'm not exempt because I stand up here. No, do you know what I mean? I'm a human being. We'll have our needs, etc. And what I found and realized that the neurons, if you're learning something, you grow like a stronger connection. Do you see what I'm saying? And then from that strong connection, it embeds itself. It becomes a hard fork in your neurons and synapses. So, give an example of riding a bike. You can have ridden a bike for like maybe years, but as soon as you get on one, you may be a bit unsteady, but then it's free flowing after that. So it's a bit like riding a bike. So the thing with the muscle, the organ of the brain, which is also a muscle, is that you have to keep it consistent. You with me? So part of that cleanliness is godliness is the application of things that you've mentioned, you see what I'm saying, on a regular basis, which is clean yourself from the inside out, outside in, as part of Babylon unto us. You with me? Yeah. So the other aspect that many people may think, or it's not necessarily a cleansing, is TV, lights, etc. Yeah, staying up at night late. We all do it. Do you know what I mean? You understand? So those what you have to understand is that the lights that's coming from the television, they are photons. Yeah. And those photons or particles of energy, within those light emissions, extraterrestrials utilize that as well. You understand? And they can ride on the wavelength of those. So your eyes are picking up photons, yeah, particles, and it's being encoded. So the TV waves, light waves, are acting as a modulation frequency. Because there's different hertz and frequencies in television and radio.
134, 120.
Exactly. These modulations are also coming in at different, it's like a Morse code. You understand? And these Morse codes or these modulations are actually affecting the genome, the DNA. Yeah, so it's not just about cleaning yourself inside out with the foods, drinking, etc. It's also what you intake in the sense of light, sound, etc. Listen to certain sounds, taking certain light can also affect you as well because your melanin is picking all this up, do you know what I mean? And it's recording it into your cells of your body. Okay? So cleanliness is godliness. It's not just about the physical aspect, it's also the mental, spiritual, and the energies as well that you take or around people. Okay, let's move to the next one. Number 2. Stay at peace and relaxed. How many people are able to do that in this day and time? This modern day time, with all the distractions, all the mayhem, all this going on, how do you maintain peace and stay relaxed?
I can do it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's a start. That is a start. Anybody, any takers?
Would you say self-awareness?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Because I just think the more you know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and the more you're aware of how you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
how you're thinking as
Mhm.
well, you'll be able to create structures around I guess selling down things like anxiety and depression. And
So
stuff like
just
that.
speak a little bit more into the mic.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, just
You can take it off, you know.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
Just saying that self-awareness could be a strong foundation
Mm-hmm.
because you want to make sure that you're aware of what you're doing. Because sometimes we do things subconsciously,
So what?
so you want to make sure that you have control over what you're seeing, like what you said,
Mm.
and how you're feeling and what you're thinking.
Mm.
That way, you can stop yourself from being overstimulated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's a smart way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So what would you apply for you to stay relaxed?
I'd say finding, for me specifically, I make sure that I'm grounded
Okay.
so that I'm not affected by external sources.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously meditating, for example.
Mm.
And if you've got a grounding ritual, then you know what I'm saying, you apply that.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that I'm grounded is the key thing for me.
Mm.
So I'm not knocked off my pivot.
Okay. Any other contributors?
Well, I'll blame you guys.
Thanks. We take the blame.
Well, because since I started coming here,
Mm.
I feel like I have to do the breathing much more.
Well, where?
Uh,
Okay.
And so today there was this gorgeous woman that passed me by, and I was almost taken over, and then all of a sudden I started to focus on my in Tai Chi
Your
the
diaphragm.
Danjian
Okay.
or
Dantian.
the chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I just suddenly
Mm.
you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
and that stopped me from getting really
Okay.
pulled in by this gorgeous looking woman.
Well, wait. All right.
You know, so I mean, she was really fantastic.
So you stayed at peace and relaxed.
So I didn't get pulled in too much. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
But I did recognize her beauty. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with recognizing female beauty, brother.
Make it real.
Robat, those who've joined us online. Yeah.
I read in one of the scrolls, Baba said, "You're always where you're meant to be."
Mm.
So what's been helping me stay relaxed, I've noticed recently, is that being conscious of that thought a lot of the times, whatever might be going on.
Okay.
The moment I realize, you know what, I'm where I'm meant to be, and I also take it as in like, I'm going through whatever I'm going through right now, I'm meant to be going through this.
Well, where?
Yeah, that's just been helping me.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's quite powerful. Yeah. I mean, like I said, everybody here's the contribution has been awesome because linked to that is that you have the mental reservoir. Yeah, and the mental reservoir, you have your emotions that's linked into the mental reservoir. Being that you have ancestors in your DNA, okay, sometimes that state of peace and relaxation that you're looking for, you have to apply those mantras you just mentioned. You have to apply those kind of affirmations that you've mentioned, because those ancestral forces, okay, have a way of influencing us, you understand, and making us off our compass. Yeah, we're not on our deen, we're on our straight and narrow, and then there's just a shift in degree of emotion, and then you allow these spirit forces, ancestral or not, to ride up the ladder. Okay, so what the master explained is that imagine a ladder, and you have you at the top, and then you have other ancestors all the way down to 30 or 29, depending on who's alive, okay, from your mother and father's side. And they then, as your emotion switches, they start to gain a step up higher, and a step higher, a step higher. Whatever emotion it is, it could be just even just wanting a cake in the shop, and you pass by that shop every day to buy that cake. You with me? Or it could be the extreme where you get so angry that you take someone's life. Yeah, so it could be that kind of extremities. However, the fact is that there's influence taking place, and as you said, it's about maintaining that peace and relaxation because they're on your telephone line. You with me? And do you remember the old telephone switches that they used to have? You probably do, Elder. You know, the switchboards in those days to plug it out and put it back in. Yeah, anyone seen those? Right? Yeah. So imagine, and then the person who's taking the call will then lose you and then plug into the wrong one, and then you might get connected to somebody else. Yeah. That's what's taking place sometimes when we try to meditate. You with me? Because we're not on the right call. And there's other beings or forces that they pull in the switches. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're maybe in an agitated state. Two things the master teacher explained is, if you're in an agitated state, take a walk and drink a cold glass of water. Because what it does is it calms the nerves. Because once your nerves are agitated, yes, my brother.
Question on the note, like, is it normal, like when you're chanting or meditating, that it's just different thoughts start coming in sometimes? You realize
that's the switchboard. Remember, your brain is the conduit. It's like it receives and sends. That's what your brain does. You with me? And when it's receiving, it's when you're in a calm state. When you're sending, it's like sorry, it's referred to as alpha, the waves. You know, you got beta, gamma, alpha, etc. So when you're in a relaxing mode, I can't remember I think it's gamma waves. Okay, that you're in. I can't remember the exact waves, how they go.
Alpha.
Alpha, yeah. So being on that frequency, it means that you're more in tune with your being. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you have forces that are in you and outside of you who want to take you off that. So that's what the mental is like. It's called a chatter that goes on. You with me? That mental chatter. And what you have to do, this is another affirmation that you can practice. Speak to your mind, because your mind to your subconscious is connected. You with me? Your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are connected. So consciously affirm to yourself, mental, I will be, you help me. Let's be friends. Do you get what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, but your mind, once you put those fields of energy, those thoughts in, your mind will only do what you ask it to do. You understand? So if you tell your mind, your subconscious, I'm in a peaceful, calm state, and doing that with the emotion behind it as well, is assisting you in having those quiet down. You with me? And obviously, application of reading Patarak, actual facts, and all of these things happen. Are definitely, what's the word? Advisable, because when you're reading these things, these books, what's taking place is that the spirit forces can't stay within you because you're raising your vibration, and they're on a lower vibration. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may have dreams of just anger, fighting, or these negative forces just don't want to leave your body. But the more you continue, they eventually have to go, because they can't live around positive energy. You understand? So this is what's taking place. So this is what you end up, should practice and keep on practicing over and over, and realizing that your mind is your best friend. If I don't know if you've got the mind book yet. Okay. All right. So in the mind book, it's your best friend and your worst enemy. You understand? Because wherever you put in your mind is what it will put out. So if you say, you are my best friend, to my mind, you are my best friend. And you internalize that. And you communicate that then to your ancestors. You understand? This is our spirituality. This is the science of who we are. Yeah? So that divinity, it starts to awaken inside of you the more you apply these things. Okay? Because I've got a few questions, so I hope that was online. Anybody have anything to say online?
There's some contributions, Amal.
Oh, what about Zamata?
I was just saying there was some
Oh,
contributions
hold on.
to.
For instance, the mic is low. Why is it? Hold on a second. No, it's on 82. Why isn't it coming through? We can't seem to hear you.
I don't know if is it my phone? Can you hear me any better?
Just about hear you, Zamata, which is weird because it should be coming through the mic. Unless this is
Does someone else want to speak and see if it might be my phone?
Yeah, can someone speak online?
Hi, Rahubat.
On
This
Zoom.
is Liz.
Just say something.
Hi, this is Liz. Can you hear me?
I think the connection's loose.
Rahubat.
Let's do this.
Rahubat.
Keep speaking.
Oh, okay. So I apologize. I'm sorry. I was on my phone earlier when I had my hand access to my iPad. I'm on Rahubat.
One more time.
Rahubat.
Sorry, the connection is a bit loose.
Rahubat.
Right, keep speaking. We'll get you in a
Right.
minute.
Okay, Rahubat. So for the first question that was asked,
Yeah.
how do you like keep your powers? Kind of like having self-control.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, cleanliness next to godliness. I think like, keeping yourself clean and like all in all aspects and all departments, if you will, or all areas in your life. That way you could receive more clearly what is being, downloaded to you. And then how to keep relaxed and making sure that you don't go into areas where your energy is going to be, it's going to be like, how can I say it?
Dissipated.
Yeah, it's not going to be like disturbed. Like, so it's food, the
Drained.
areas of people that you're around, all of those things. So it's not, a lot of times, people think relaxing, and I just kind of learned this. People think relaxing is just, like meditating, crossing your leg. No, there's a lot more to it. It's food, it's what you dress, who you're around, what you're listening to, what you're watching. So all of those things. Yeah.
Tautat for your input, Zamaltat. Okay. Any last one? We'll move on to the next one. Okay. Any? No? Well, wait. All right, let's move to the next one. Number 3, statement. Don't worry about what people think about you. Worry about what you think about yourself.
Oh, amen.
Okay. Any takers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Go on, man.
Put me down on the list.
What
Okay.
was the actual question?
It's a statement, so you can go and add to that statement, build on that statement.
Yeah, definitely. Because obviously what other people think about you doesn't necessarily affect your reality unless you want it to. So if you take on someone else's perception of you, whether good or bad, it can limit you, it can trap you. But if you take that same principle of thinking something of yourself and then choosing to think positively of yourself, that can have a great impact if you understand the mechanism of thought. You know what I'm saying? And applying that to yourself and truly embodying that on top of that.
Sure.
So therefore, what you think about yourself is more important than what someone else thinks. And on top of that, you be able to manifest better when you're truly you have that awareness of yourself, what I was saying earlier, and you'll be able to live your truth much better, and you believe in much more smoother once you know yourself and think, and you don't let other thoughts infiltrate your mind. So yeah.
So you can pretty much see in the world that we live in, do you get what I'm saying? The people we interact with and engage with, etc., whether it's at home, loved ones, friends, associates, etc., that many of us, as the statement goes in the class, is that, oh, you are not owning our power.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because we're too worried about what others think about us. Do you get what I'm saying? And we're not tapping into that divine essence. Because what happens with that divine essence, that divinity of yours, is then suppressed. Do you see what I'm saying? And Wu-Nuwapu is not about suppressing that divinity. It's about allowing it to express itself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and keeping that balance. Okay. So this is part of the this exercise that we're doing in question answer class is to help identify that, to make you realize that you are that divine, you are that supreme being, you are that divine being. Okay, hold on. Just go on chat. Just go to the chat a second. Okay, there's a few questions in the chat room, so yeah, so if you could just more enunciate on the mic, this request so they can be recorded a bit more, right? Okay, so let's go to the chat and then we'll come back to move on to so let's see what it says in the chat room. Okay, that's we'll jump on that sunny throat. Don't worry, we'll address that question. What else is there? Yeah. Someone says I'm so fresh and so clean. So what? There's outcast here, yeah. Got an outcast fan. Break down all the extraterrestrials. Okay, we'll cover that. So I'm not going to try and keep long on this because obviously it's more about a thought process and stimulation of the identity of who you really are. So let's jump to the next one. Appreciate your input again. Number 4. Okay. Did you have anything else to add before we go on?
Well, funnily enough, on the YouTube, on the underground, I was thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't wear African clothes because I could get attacked.
Okay.
Then I had another thought. I said, well, it's all right for me to wear African clothes because I know my ancestors want me to.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I thought like that, oh yes, my ancestors want me to, then I felt relaxed. So let's stop worrying about it.
Okay.
Might get attacked.
This and this is again, that's powerful because what we're dealing with here is that we are so steeped in the six ether forces and the ideologies of the West and their culture and how it influences us that we're afraid. Part of the fear is identifying with self, your true self. You understand? And we question that. Question how I should present myself, question how I should look, question how I should speak. Because if I speak wrong or if I sound a certain way, then so now we suppress all of these things and we're not allowing our true self to actually grow. And then we manifest that in our children. Because in our children know, and this is all about the culture, this is all about self-identity. Do you get what I'm saying? So being aware of self, being aware of who your true star seed is that you're not these things. Do you get what I'm saying? This is who you are. And other people have to accept you for who you are and not worry about what you are. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on to number 4. Don't change. We all make mistakes. How'd you take that one?
I have something to say.
Who's that? Who's that, by the way? Rahubat, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Katora.
Katora, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I just realized lately that no one can change oneself. They just simply manipulate themselves into thinking they've changed. But deep down, people always have that self in them, and they just need to learn to accept that self to truly grow into the person they are.
Very true, very true. I'll give an analogy. We cover ourselves, the master said this, we cover ourselves in solvents of different beliefs, religions, etc. Imagine when you go, when everyone moves into an old house and there's layers of paint on a house, and then you go strip it off until you get to the wall itself, the true wall. Well, that's a bit like us. Do you know what I mean? We have to strip off all these layers and get to the true self. So you're not changed, like the sister said. You've just covered yourself in layers, of other people's beliefs, etc. And it's time for us to grow into that who you are as a being, that you're connected to your ancestors, that you can wear these things, you can speak your language. It's not a sin, it's not a crime, it's not this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone other takers?
If I may.
You have a
sorry.
question? Okay, the brother and then yourselves as a Malta.
Don't change, we all make mistakes. So what does Bible mean when it says everything changes and what's not changing is death?
Okay, good. Right, so between life and death, there's existence. Okay?
Sure.
So you as a being, you are existence. Do you understand?
Sure.
Those changes that are happening is part of the existence that's taking place in this timeline. You with me? So you don't change on either side of these timelines. You watch the process. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, don't let it affect you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and when you recognize your mistakes, you try to correct them. Yeah, you make amends. You with me? Within that. But you as a being, as existence, you don't change. The universe never changes. You understand? Yeah. Does that make sense?
I know.
Okay. Yes, Zamalta, you have a question or addition to the build?
Addition. It's so true. And if I could piggyback off of what this Amaltet had just said, you don't change. It's kind of like you got to learn how to accept yourself. And it's like for me coming into Wu-Sabat, learning how to accept myself and who I am and removing those labels that were placed on me from people before. It's like you're not walking in shame anymore. So it's so much easier when you recognize something about yourself that's not right, like for you to correct it. And just kind of just do better. But yeah, it's just removing those labels off of yourself so you can be okay with being your true authentic self.
Tua, toe tut. For that import. Anything else before we move on? I might not even cover all of these, but it's still good to build on them. Right, someone's got a hand up. I don't know. Someone's hand up is up.
I did. Yes,
Okay.
I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hello.
Rahubat Zamalta.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just came there a bit late.
It's okay.
I just wanted to add, this to what you're discussing. For persons whom, as we grow through our life phases, oh my God, my speech is bad. As we grow, we actually go through. Do you believe that as we grow, we go through changes? We may learn better choices as we go along, and some choices that we would have made in our earlier lifetime, as we get older, we grow more mature. When we become more mature, and we look at things differently from different perspectives, then we make choices that are better, or that would serve us better. Wouldn't you recognize that as growth? Growth takes place as learning occurs, and you make the adjusted or the adjustment as you go along that growth curve through your lifetime. Oh my God. Please forgive my speech.
No,
My
no,
speech
I
is
yeah, I
so bad.
understand. I know you had a stroke. I know you mentioned that you had a stroke, so
Yes.
you know.
So what I'm saying is, as we grow, when I say grow, when I speak about growth, what I mean is that we make better choices in life as we move, as we move along in our life. You understand what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
make better choices, and it is referred to as growth. You grow, it means you are more mature, you make more mature choices
Well,
that will serve your life.
the Malta,
So,
yeah. Just to because otherwise we will
yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, thank you.
Know that okay.
Mhm.
Before you came into this existence, yeah,
Yes.
did you have a religion?
No
Anybody
religion,
yeah,
no.
so as a spiritual being, you didn't have a religion, you didn't have any belief
Yeah,
systems, you didn't have
yeah.
anything like that. You are a pure being. Yeah.
Yes. I agree with
As
that,
you
yes.
entered into this realm, this lower vibrational realm, it's where
Yes,
you got things plowed onto you. Do you get what I'm saying? You got labeled with this. You got given a name. You have given all these other aspects. But the true essence of who you are, you see what I'm saying, never changes. It always is.
That's
You with me?
correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's
that's what I'm actually the master teacher explained, that you as a being, but what's happened is you've been clouded to perceive these things as either good for you or bad for you, etc. But really and truly, there's always the you, and that's what we need to tap back into. You see what I'm saying? The real you.
yes. I
Okay.
agree with that.
Yeah.
But also that to know that our environment have great impact
That's
on
right.
our
That's right. Yeah. The environment
yeah.
and not even just the environment, is who's created the environment. You see what I'm
Yes,
saying? Yeah.
absolutely.
Because when you were in your natural state, in your own environment, you didn't have to think about having to change. Do you see what I'm
Yes,
saying? To fit
yes,
into a system, to fit into this, to fit into that, to be accepted. You just
yes,
lived as it was, as it is.
that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's essentially what this. And the only thing that is constant is that there is change, which is constant, but is in the growth and things that happen. But you as a being doesn't change because you're always there in
Okay,
existence.
I understand your point of view from where you're coming from. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Antata Tira Falls Marta. You have a question, my brother?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have two questions actually. The first one is just from your, your own train of thought. Why would you say people are so scared of living in their natural state? Why would you say that there's so many sectors of way of living?
Because, I mean, I'm glad you said, 'cause I was going to kind of delve into that anyway. You have to remember, DNA has been mixing going on this planet for a very long time. Forget even 400 years ago, or 6,000 years ago. You go beings that we have to tap into the realm of extraterrestrials, because as the master teacher teaches us, that the DNA goes beyond what we know. Do you get what I'm saying? And extraterrestrials are in our DNA. So the infighting, the disagreements, the this, the that, and plus other DNA from other races have an impact on why we don't seem to get along or unify. It's all of these things that's happening. And then you got the artificial things as well that influence us, the music, the this, the food, all of that has an impact. So when you start to analyze and understand what epigenetics are, I urge everybody, study epigenetics. Because it gives you such an insight and understanding of why you do what you do, because you've inherited these attributes and characteristics from not just your family members, but also generational. Do you get what I'm saying? And as you mix your seed, you also have to take in mind what Partner Babian has introduced us to when you go and research a person called Rupert Sheldrake. He was talking about the morphic field and many other scientists, but he was the main person that was trying to bring it out into the awareness. So you have a morphic field of energy that we're all tapped into, and your thoughts can actually create the reality through this morphic field.
In the 4D.
In the 4D, except and higher. You understand? So if you're mixing your DNA with other races, that mentality gets also infused into the mentality of the morphic field. And then we are now susceptible to it, because generationally, what they've done experiments with is like rats and mice that, do you get what I'm saying? That you learn through the morphic field. And you can also be turned off in the morphic field. So certain epigenetics can lay dormant, they can be switched off, or they can switch on certain parts of your personality that shouldn't be switched on, if you get what I'm saying. Do you understand? So you've got that coupled with the mental reservoir. Do you know what I mean? That is where you have your ancestors. You got that coupled with your emotions. And beings who are on a higher state of evolution, technology or whatever, they understand this. They understand how to manipulate the mind. They understand how to manipulate forces and energies. So we are on a lower scale because we've forgotten who we are. You understand? So again, it takes a being every 24,000 years to incarnate, because what happens, our mentality starts to dwindle. It starts to get lower and lower in mentality to the point where we're acting like a beast.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's our lower nature.
Yeah, our lower nature. Yeah, so that higher nature, that starseed, that divinity has to be raised up, and it has to take a being. So our cycle as Nagaru or African race, our cycle happens every 24,000 years. You see what I'm saying? Where there's a renewal. So that renewal is happening now from the year 1970, officially, when the master teacher taught publicly. But from 1962, 63, he was actually teaching privately to those who he had acquired, and he was teaching them about Wu-Nawapu. But again, the questions that were being asked made him put those down and then walk us through the different schools that we were, cloaked under or under the spell of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. If you could just remind me of the main topic this was again, that I can remember my question.
No worries. Yeah. So you've got basically 19 ways to be divine, and your star seed aligning with your star seed.
There was a sub question that you had.
Okay. What on here?
Yeah.
The question. Okay. Don't change. We all make mistakes.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was laid on my heart to mention was that you say don't change. I feel like when we're at a hatching stage of starting to express who we truly are, it can be very awkward. And we may, for example, dress, in the way we feel like we should dress. We may say things that can be taboo or controversial to some people and whatnot. Really express yourself. Sometimes when you're at that stage, it can be really scary and awkward, so you might retreat.
That's right.
So I'd say that that's just to elaborate on what you on the statement, that when you find yourself retreating at that stage, that's probably the time you should push more. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that way you could break through.
That's right.
Truly express who you truly are. That's all I want to say.
No, for real. I appreciate it. Because it's the mental barriers.
That's it. Yeah.
And these mental barriers, there's a scroll called What is Nwapu? And it explains in there, Panaba explains that you have ancestors who, when you make a link to them, they break down those mental barriers because you allow them to now visit you. Nine ether will visit your mind once you start to reject the oppressor's mental state. You see what I'm saying? That's why he said, give it all back to them. Their Jesus, their this, their holidays, give it all back. Because as you break those mental barriers and those mental chains, again, that true divinity starts to awake.
That's it.
And as you resonate on that frequency, you start to align with those nine ether forces. Do you see what I'm saying? So they will visit or incarnate through you and work through you. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to start learning to trust who you are.
Yeah.
Trust your ancestors. Trust all of these things. You know what I mean?
So just to put it in lesser terms, is like you kind of like got to really truly express that what people consider the weirder side of you.
As people, exactly, yeah.
Like,
you're weird.
No, it's not that it's weird, but society will say that this is
that's right.
Not necessarily.
It's non-conformity.
Non-conformity, exactly. That's perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like you want to make sure that you do these things that feel natural. No, I want to do this. I want to express this, and then you do that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, especially if you don't have a manual, it will eventually make sense to you. You know what I'm gonna say?
I mean, look at entertainment as another example where you have recording artists. Yeah, in the 50s, 60s, they were singing with a bassy voice. But to get into the record industry, no, you got to sing with a falsetto. Falsetto is high pitched. You know what I'm saying? To be recognized, to be accepted, you had to change. You had to mold yourself into something you are not. Just to be accepted in the recording or the entertainment industry. You understand?
Bitches and hoes.
Exactly, because conscious rap don't sell. Do you know what I mean? But Tupac, no, not Tupac and all. I mean, even he was conscious, but then he went to gangster rap after. You know what I mean? But you know, people like Two Life Crew. Let's just give an example. Two Life Crew, yeah. You know what I mean? That's what they like. You know, that's what they want. That's what they see our women in that kind of. We need to derogatory ourselves or denigrate ourselves and make ourselves in a particular way to be accepted. Do you get what I'm saying? But you're that monkey that acting for them, you know? So yeah.
Oh yeah, you know the most tragic thing I ever heard was when Louis Armstrong recorded a song for a Disney movie called The Jungle Book.
Right.
I want to be like
you, yeah,
talk like
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
He must have paid an awful lot of money.
Well, they might not even have paid him that much. They might not even have paid him that much. Yeah.
He must have hated it.
Because remember those contract deals back then, not to move aside from what our topic is, but they used to sign them on some dodgy contracts back then.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? They would not get paid much at all. But okay, let's move on. Number 5, which kind of links into stay at peace. Number 2, block out all foreign thoughts. Just relax. Okay, so kind of like we've touched on that already, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? On how you should be meditation. Actually, there's some Bree put here spiritual baths and fasting. That's another aspect as well. Yeah. Moving on to number 6. You don't have to go along with the majority. Okay. That again, anyone to touch on that? Kind of like links into number 3. Don't worry about what people think about you. So you don't have to go along with the majority.
I mean, there's a contradiction there, isn't it? Along with the majority. So I just know, you just elaborate on that.
Well, you know when you got like herds of sheep, herds of like animals running in one direction. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you think, well, I might as well run with them. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they think there's danger. But you can see maybe from higher ups, but there's no danger. Yeah, so you don't have to always go along with the majority. Does that make sense?
It could be very lonely, I can tell you.
You can be very lonely. It's lonely at the top, they say, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say, but I feel like to get to that stage where you don't do that, it's kind of like you have to have a certain level of knowledge, certain level of awareness, and understand of why you shouldn't. Because you can say that, okay, you don't have to run with the majority, but the person needs to understand why they don't have to.
That's right. Very true. Very true.
It's easy to just rebel.
Yeah, for no reason. This is
So you don't want to do that. You want to understand why I shouldn't be scared of this thing. And the reason why I shouldn't.
But what you see what we're saying there? Reasoning. What's Nwapu? Sound right reasoning. Do you understand? So this is why this information is here today in this day and time, because it's to give you the operatives. Do you know what I mean? How do you apply it so that you can be not going along with that majority? You understand? And finding those who are like-minded and grow with them.
That's a key.
That's the key point.
Yeah.
Find those who are like-minded.
Eventually, you want so locked into that frequency, you will naturally gravitate towards those people.
That's right.
They'll come to you, especially if you're doing the work as well. It will naturally happen. So that's great. Yeah.
Any others before we move on?
Well, I mean, I'm talking to my brother yesterday, and he not swears, but he really is into Catholicism. He said that for him, it keeps him connected to the local community, because where he lives, there's not really an African community there. There's not Asians there. It's mainly white Scottish people. So he feels like that keeps him connected. But from time to time, he can see that they don't he gave me an example. He said, when I spoke about African things and African history, he says they cut me off. They didn't want to be my friend anymore.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
So
Yeah.
so I was going to take them. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer. You know who your real friends are.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
but he can't find anything else to
Mhm.
hold on to. You know, for him, his health issues, mental health issues, are supported or helped along by his Catholic belief.
Right. Right. Okay.
So I don't want to destroy his belief.
No, you can't do that unless you
But,
got something to
it's
replace it
little-
with.
little things.
Yeah.
Sure. So he has actually acknowledged that salvation through Jesus Christ doesn't solve your original sin.
Okay.
Whatever you consider that to be or not to be.
Yeah.
What he considers original sin to be is something Adam and Eve did. I mean,
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
According to, yeah.
The British, English Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but for myself, I know that if you want to be black in Scotland, you're on your own, mate.
Okay.
You're on your own.
Okay. Okay.
You're
Wow.
on your own.
All right. Well, imagine practicing Wu-Sabat up there then.
yeah, so I
That's
mean-
even as being black.
So you've either got to say to yourself, do I want to be myself, or do I just want to go along with the pack?
Yeah, most people do, unfortunately. Most
And-
people do.
But if you do decide you want to be black, then you've got to be prepared to sort of be on your own most of the time. So that's what I experienced.
Yeah, it's tough for I mean, you know,
That's what I
there's
experienced.
people around the
So
world and it's it's hard for if you're
I wouldn't like to be African American. I mean, I visit there because my son's there. And, I feel like in prison.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you know how the society there is quite. I feel free to some extent, but less free than here. But I'm gaining more as long as I keep in touch with African history and what do you call it? Egyptian spirituality. That keeps me grounded. That keeps me safe. But otherwise, you know, it's just, for me, it's very difficult to be in America. I don't know how African Americans stay in America. How do you do it?
Well, let's go and move on to the next one. Otherwise, we'll be contemplating that. Yeah, I know. It's sad. And even worse now because of what's taking place over there.
I mean, it's all right for people who see. Forgive me for saying, but maybe both your parents are African. So this experience of life in Britain, for example, of Africans or people with African parents, is slightly different than people who are from the Caribbean and from other who are not born in Africa. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's quite different, you know. So this stuff is very important for us in particular who
Very,
are
very important.
born outside of Africa.
Yeah.
We need something to give us back our
Identity. Power. That's right. Yeah.
Give us our power.
Yeah.
So, this is real for me. This is real.
Oh, tell that. Well, all to the master teacher. You know what I mean? We're like as always students. You know, as much as we try to convey, he gives it in a way that your DNA awakens. There's a question from Kobe. Rahubat Moisar. The gamma state indicates high-level processing, insight, and peak performance. What's the best practice for us as Nawapians to tap into this state? Well, we have our chants, Zamal. We have our meditation that you do. And it's through those applications, Amal, is where you will be able to basically have those peak performances. Part of that is the repetition of it, really. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, as much as you know that this is what you got to do, it's about the repetition. You know, always try and find time to always keep practicing, repetition, etc., because then that grows the neurons, the synapses. Being on that state it's not always a good thing to be always on that state. It's learning how to find the balance. But yeah, the practices of that is really through the different things that has been, if you're not familiar with them, they're in like the breathing exercises from the breath book. Like in there, you see various different exercises. Oh, excuse me. Battery. Sorry, people. Just realized I didn't plug in my
We're all human.
It's all human, but it may shut down before before I lose everybody. Yeah, see, we all make mistakes. Don't change. Right, okay. We're back on, yeah? Wonderful. Okay. Make sure that this is charging. Yeah, it's charging. Okay. Yeah, so Kobe, it's really about those practices, the breath book, concentration, you know, learning how to bring yourself into that state of meditation, relaxation. These are all precepts, just what I'm saying, to high level processing. Because, and when you're referring to high level processing, are you referring to more the brain aspect or your etheric being? Because as I said, your etheric being is your etheric being. That has never changed. It's always you, the God you, the deity that you are, is always there. It's just that we have to align with it and tap into that part of us. So yeah, but those are really the best practices that the master teacher has given us, learning to turn ourselves inside out, you know, chanting every day, fasting, you know, also even spending time, quality time with your children, believe it or not, Zamal. You know, all of these things is all part of it as well. Yeah, spending quality time with family, socially as well, spending time with people who are like-minded. Because one thing that is known is there's something called brain-derived neurotropic factor. If you don't know what that is, a short name for is BDNF. Okay, BDNF, and even socializing amongst each other can actually grow new neurons. Okay, so you know that's why Master Teacher Partner Babian known as always advocate that we should gather together, do things together, practice our culture, because it also grows new neurons. Okay.
Yeah, there's a book called Make the Most of Your Mind.
Okay.
And he says that, yeah, you grow new neurons through new knowledge and
Okay.
Well,
Right, so
yeah.
right, Nantinen. Okay, we'll get to that. What's the time now? Okay, I'm mindful of the time. So let's move on. There's one, accept the ways the evil one distracts you. What do you think is meant by that? Accept the ways the evil one distracts you. Basically, these Luciferian forces.
Well, the way women dress, for one thing, is a big thing for me.
That is not a Luciferian distraction. That's just you.
That's just you. Clothing and emphasizing the
That's you.
beautiful attributes.
Yeah. But accept the ways that the Luciferians or evil one distracts you.
That just to not try to change it. I think for me anyway, it's end up going around in circles when you're recognizing it, instead of being like myself or
Sorry, sister. Sorry. Yeah, we have to record. We want to hear your voice. Aroma.
So what was the name? So yes, just not to change the ways that the evil ones try and distract you, or not to focus on it so much that it's your only obsession. I've made that mistake before. I will now correct. But you said something earlier about the mind being your best friend or enemy.
Mm.
And I think when you're a star seed or a powerful being, you know, there's a lot of forces that do come to try and distract, destroy, and disarm and dismantle you.
That's right.
My mistake is to focus on that. And why is that happening? How can I change that? And how can I change that person's thought process? And even when you said not to think about how people think about you, I was coming here listening, and I know that, but I still think if I just show my heart, if you just see my heart, and I'm a bit too open and honest. So if I just show you all of that, you should see that there's nothing wrong with me. You know? You should have no evil vendetta towards me, or if I've not done anything to you, I don't see why you should. But there's a lot of people that just see a type of being and aim to destroy that.
That's right, yeah.
With the evil forces and not trying to change that, correcting yourself. So either you block their attempts, or you just take yourself completely out of it.
That's right.
Out of the way. When you spoke earlier, the title of this is Owning Your Power. And sorry, I'm trying to get all my questions out at one time.
Fair enough.
It's fine.
The one-time thing is
Yeah. So owning your power, you asked if what that means and if we can all elaborate. And I didn't hear all of it because there was a sound issue. But I didn't hear anybody speak about accountability and recognizing us as ourselves, taking accountability is part of owning our power.
Truth is truth.
I always thought just knowing what I've done and knowing the mistakes or knowing where the wrong turn was is enough. And having a good intention, and thinking that that's enough. I'm recognizing now, living life and growing, as that lady said, that's not the entire story. There's a lot more to accountability and owning your power. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else.
No, you're so right. Yeah.
So with the star seed element and the divinity, you mentioned earlier that you can't lose the God in you. You can't lose the divinity. It's just dormant, and then it gets activated again with Wu-Sabat and Wu-Sabat. If somebody owned their power and the environment and how life was in the evil forces, kind of took that away, but obviously you said you can't take it away. Is there any point where that can't be activated?
Is there a point?
Is there a point where if you came here, you're being as you are, star seed, is there a point where it can't be activated again? Yeah.
Okay, that's your question, yeah?
I think,
well, no. It's, appreciate it. No, you've made your statements and stuff.
Yeah.
There are points where it can't be activated because we're made up of different components. So through Wu-Sabat, you learn that you have a spiritual self, a soul, and a higher portion, and then your mind. So there's different elements of you, yeah? And they all exist in different dimensions. Do you get what I'm saying? But they coalesce themselves into the physical body while we're here. So being that we have all these components, we can get disconnected from them. And being disconnected from them can happen in various ways. Mixing out of your seed, out of your race. Doing things that's detrimental to your being. When I say detrimental to your being, is living in somebody else's image and somebody else's way of life. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's really part of it, because what starts to happen is that the soul portion of you starts to dwindle, it starts to seep out. You can still have a spiritual essence, but the soul and the ether itself just gets disconnected. You see what I'm saying? And everything has ether. Everything has ether, and there's various forms of ether. So you have 3 ether, ghost, 6 ether, and then you got 9 ether. So we can drop down and we can be in the image and likeness of 6 ether. And in doing that, you kind of like lose your essence. You get you that's when you become soulless. You understand? Yeah. So being soulless, you're no longer connected to the etheric portion of you, and it's through the various things, the different things I've mentioned. I mean, it goes into much more detail in the books.
Yeah.
But essentially, is that's taking place where you're no longer who you are anymore. You're living in somebody else's image and somebody else's mind state. You understand? Yeah, because as spiritual forces, the agreeable ones, which are connected to you, can assist you, obviously. And then the negative ones, they want to use you, just saying, to enjoy this realm, or to use you as a conduit to open up other realms. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You know, because they can actually steal your soul. So for instance, with the Adamites, they have made covenants and they've made a pact with disagreeable negative entities or forces. So these extraterrestrials, at the point of death, if you've been living in the image and likeness of 6 ether, at the point of death, they will come to claim your soul.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask as well.
Sorry.
With them.
Sorry.
It's all right. I said I was going to touch you.
On your power.
How, if your mind can be your best friend and your enemy, I understand Wu-Sabat is the way, so you can know the difference. But if you believe that you're in Wu-Sabat and your mind is actually against you, how do you?
Well, you use the word believe, innit?
Oh yeah.
So
You
you've
have to know.
exactly.
Yeah. You know by.
By studying. Yeah.
And chanting.
Yeah. Because the proof and the application of sound right reasoning is through the different things like experience, reasoning, evidence.
Yeah.
And then you also have the questions: who, where, why, when, how, what. Do you see what I'm saying? And those things gives you a rounded observation and critique on what's actually correct, because now it has sound right reasoning. And your essence is sound right reasoning. So when it starts to make sense, is because you have encoded memories. You have encoding in your DNA that when something is said to you, it activates those memories. You see what I'm saying? And then it's then also reaffirmed because of the life changes or the lifestyle that you start to live. Exactly. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what many people don't realize is that as you make a link with the forces, 9 ether forces, you automatically have a protection. There's a protection, you see? And until you know that kind of protection, do you get what I'm saying? It's not self-evident in like, oh, I've got a protection, there's a wall in front of me, do you get what I'm saying? But there's just certain things in life that you just happen to just avoid, or do you get what I'm saying? Or you end up,
Things you'd experience.
Exactly. Do you understand? So these are the realities that's happening when you start to apply Wu-Sabat, you know what I mean, the culture to your life. Because it's a protection. Yeah. Yes, my brother.
So I was going to ask, if a 9 ether man is sleeping with a 6 ether female, how does that affect the spirits in terms of mental health? So if the woman has mental health issues, how does that affect the 9 ether man?
It can. It does, because DNA, as you're mixing fluids, you're gonna cross each other's and pass each other's DNA across to each other. You understand? So it's not just their physical aspect, it's also the other aspects, their mental state. And that DNA, remember, is connected to their ancestors. You see what I'm saying? So that the deranged aspect that will come with it, especially if you're dealing with a Mukasu who is an Adamite, because what you have to remember is that most people on this planet, they're not white people or Caucasians by the meaning of the word. How can I put it? All right. Do you know about the Adamite race? The Adamites.
I've heard of it. Familiar.
Okay. So the Adamites were grafted, okay? And then other extraterrestrials used their DNA to make different hybrids of them. So you have your original Adamites, then you have your Canaanites, okay? These were the ones that became diseased, and they call it leprosy in Genesis 9:25, yeah? Then you also had the mixing of different animals that was grafted onto the Adamites or grafted into their genes, okay? Which was the dog, the pig, and what's that one? The swine.
Wolf.
Canine, yeah, canine, swine, and monkey, simian. So these animals, okay, DNA was also infused in them. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's your Canaanites all the way down to your Sethites, who are all Adamites. Do you understand? Okay. As time went on, they mixed in with the Canaanites, who were originally your diseased lepers who came out milky white because of the genetic curse, what they call a genetic curse. Okay. So that genetic curse, that particular individual had 11 tribes, 11 sons, and those 11 sons, they carried traits of genetic defects. Does that make sense? So the master teacher is broken out. There's a distinction you have to make when it comes to who the white person is, because not everybody has that DNA. You understand? And the original Adamites were only made 6,000 years ago, and there were beings on the planet Earth, like you had the Cro-Magnon, the Neanderthal, etc. There's other beings on the planet as well, who have we've all mixed in now. So really and truly, it's about what the DNA is passing on. The Canaanites, because of their lack of soul and the way they've treated other human beings on the planet, just what I'm saying, is the ones we're specifically talking about. When you say like a white person or a white man mixes with, it's not that clear cut, because then you have to deal with DNA, genes. Does that make sense? So if you're talking about a Canaanite, Sethite, Canaanites, Adamite race, who are now known as the Celtics, okay, in them, and even in them, they also mix. But the true pure seed of the Amorites and this particular race of people, their DNA is deranged. You see what I'm saying? Mentally and physically. So that's what will be passed on to the male. And it's even more detrimental for the female of our race. Yeah, because what it is she carries the mitochondria DNA. And the mitochondria DNA, if that gets scrambled, it's all about passing all that information into the gene pool of the female. You see what I'm saying? And it disrupts the disc. The lineage, it gets disrupted. So now her genealogy, any child that she's given birth to, you see what I'm saying, as a race, I'm talking here, also affects them mentally and physically and spiritually. So that's the reverse for if it was a Caucasian male of the Canaanite, Sethites, etc., who have mixed in with a Nagaru female. Yeah, she lowers herself to the point where she's living in the image and likeness, because what happens is her what is called her energy levels drop. Her etheric level drops. You see what I'm saying? To match his. But the other way around, if it's a Caucasian male with a Caucasian female with a male, a Nagaru male, then what happens is he raises her up. Do you understand? Because he loses some of his energy points to compensate. So she actually raises up her what is known as her telomeres. Okay, they get stronger. Do you understand? So she's actually able to then shift up levels, and the male drops down levels. But for the other way around, Nagaru female, that's what happens to her. Yeah, but that can also be reversed if she was to go back with a black. Let's use the word black for now. A black male and a black female, if they were to come back together, then they'll both raise up. Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously, with the right practices and the cleansing. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's what happened. Yeah.
Just in terms of what you said about the black woman and the black man and the white woman, and raising her up. I understand in different dimensions things come across differently. I just want to understand, why is there such a stigma around the black man and the white woman, and why is it like such a thing where not necessarily frowned upon, but apparently there's like there's a I don't know what to say. I'm gonna use the word stigma around that combination, because apparently when the white
like a taboo,
yeah, that's, you know what I'm trying to say. Because I'm aware that, you know, when the black woman's with a white man, it's like you've done something. I guess your
race.
You know what I'm trying to say. You've done something, I guess, well, innit? But when it's the other way around, it's just kind of like, oh, look what you've done. You know what I'm trying to say. So I just want to know, where does that come from?
What the race mixing taboo?
Race mixing, because it's like, what is it that because obviously what you said, that the white will be raised up, and vice versa, whatever. I'm trying to understand, because obviously spiritually, I guess that makes sense. But physically, from what we can see, yeah, it kind of contradicts, because I've seen a lot of, in terms of like, you know, I guess if we're gonna talk in terms of like, you know, systemically, it contradicts, but spiritually, it can be, you know, completely different. I want to know why that is.
Part of it is what society breeds, and part of it is the laws that the Mukasu wrote. Do you get what I'm saying? That anybody who's non-white, is or has 1% drop. Do you see what I'm saying? Of a particular Caucasian gene, it's I think it's the other way around. Let me correct me if I'm wrong, anybody listening. I think it's 1%.
The
one drop rule, yeah. Is that you're Caucasian or not Caucasian? I can't even remember. There's a 1 drop rule in you, and you're black.
1% black.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
It's the history of slavery.
Yeah.
Systematically come from.
Yeah. So it's a systematic thing. Yeah.
Why on one level? Oh, please. No.
You have to hear. We all have to hear.
Answer my question. You're done.
One level. I will say, on one level, where a black man and a black woman and a white man together is somewhat seen as like she's done something good, is, if we just use the terms of slave, that she's managed to find someone that will look after her in that slave thing, seeing her as good enough to marry as a white man that's a slave. And then the reverse now is that the white women were problematic and were the reason why a lot of black women were killed. So for you now to go with a white woman, it's like, okay, you don't know that you're either being tricked or played.
She can't. So could you put the mic closer? She can't hear.
That's on one level. That's just on a basic slave race level of it. Why the systematic, what you're seeing in society, it seems like black men are getting looked down more on for being with white men, and then also the genetics and the fact that,
there's a lot of social and all of that thing going on. Yeah.
But if you're just talking about Wu-Sabat, it's more genetics.
Yeah.
It's more
That's
of
right.
diluting your 94 energy, and then that's what they come for. That's what they're feeding off. So if you don't,
Real and true, the slave trade was for that. That's what the slave trade was for. It was actually for the blood. Yeah. Because once they were able to mix into the blood, they could then survive for another 300 years, etc. So it's really about the DNA mixing. That's what the slave kidnapping was about.
I heard something about, about the new earth and how they're trying to get access into the new earth, which is why they're trying to do interracial breeding and stuff like that. They're trying to get into the new earth and get into the higher frequency so that they can
What you mean the shift into a new era?
Literally, that literally. So because apparently a lot of them are not going to be able to withstand the frequency.
That's right, and that's part of the sun cycle. The frequency of the sun cycle is that they have to mix back in order to acclimatize and also inherit certain genetic factors. Do you get what I'm saying? Because those genetic factors will protect them from the sun's rays and other things that are going on. But it's a little bit too late for those things because it takes generations for that to actually kick in. You with me? And if you go and study anything regarding the demise of the Caucasian race, do you get what I'm saying? You find out that the percentile of births has dropped. You with me? Italy, France, other Romania, those, just go and look. There's an actual chart. You can actually go and research this, that once you go past a particular percent of births and you can no longer make that, that's the demise of your race. Wow. So natural nature is doing that. You see what I'm saying? Because what the Adamites were programmed with, they were programmed to exist for only 6,000 years.
Okay.
You see? So what they did, this is one of the reasons why the commandment was given in the garden, is like, go forth and multiply. It wasn't given to the whole, because the Bible that we hold or people use is talking about a particular genetic race of people known as the Adamites. It wasn't talking about the whole planet. You see, so the Adamites are actually a created species by their Elohim, extraterrestrial gods. You see what I'm saying? But what the factor that they put in there was a genetic factor, which was known as the tree of life. So that tree of life is talking about the DNA. So that DNA is determined, there's a time cycle, and it starts to unravel after 6,000 years, where they start to die as a race of people, because natural nature has, they put that in their DNA. But they want to prolong their life, so they've looked at other ways to extend their life. You know what I'm saying? So if you notice, there's a whole high state of everyone getting healthy and, do you know what I mean, eating this food, and because they know, see,
even subconsciously,
that's the word I'm looking for. On a subconscious level, they're aware of what's taking place. Do you know what I'm saying? The elite of their race know what's taking place. Yeah, then they're aware of all of this, but the average Joe Bloggs on the road doesn't know that there's a percentile drop and the telomeres are going to unravel, because once the telomeres get shorter, I don't know if you know about telomeres. So you have on your chromosomes, you have an X chromosome, Y chromosome. Two. The what? What about Zoom? They can't hear. Oh, waiting to be let in. I can't see any jumps on the screen. Sorry, Zamal. 1 second. Okay, hold on. Oh, toe tap. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't popping up on my screen. That's why. Oh, wow. That's probably why. Okay. All right. Toe tap, Zamal, for that. Appreciate that.
The question.
Sorry, I think. Did you finish it? Zamal?
Yeah, I had one more question, but
yeah, go on, Elder. Yeah, go on, Elder.
I don't know how to think about it, but what is the Wu-Sabat understanding of the human genetics of the human genome suggests that human beings originated in Africa, and then through what they call it, migration, adaptation, and mutation, they became brown, yellow, and white. Now, what is Wu-Sabat saying? Is that saying something different, or correcting it?
Correcting it, yeah. It's more of a correction because not different, it's a correction because you see, scientists, archaeologists, anthropologists, etc., what they don't do is they don't marry the Bible and the science together.
Right.
So there's always this gap. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
When I say the Bible, I'm talking about the ancient manuscripts.
Okay.
So in those ancient tablets and ancient writings, sorry, let me just load the volume. There are written accounts of a creation of a man or a creation of some kind of hybrid creature. You see? Another aspect that scientists or anthropologists, etc., will not factor in is that extraterrestrials exist. Do you know what I mean? Being from other realms and dimensions and planets exist. So religion picks it up and calls it God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
angels.
Yeah, or angels or Anunnaki, and they give them different titles and different names. But essentially, they're just high advanced beings that have got to a part in their existence where they can have the ability to manipulate time. They have the ability to travel further distances. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they've had that technology now. They've got to that level where they don't need certain things that we need as human beings. Do you know what I mean? And even to the point where they're just mental. Some of them are mental, and that's our ancestors. They're mental beings, they're Etherians. They're like, they can be anywhere and everywhere because they're part of all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, omnipresent.
Yeah, omnipresent, exactly. And that's what we're connected to. So within those two, if they were to put the two together and actually analyze, they'll start seeing that, yes, there was a time when extraterrestrials came and the Cro-Magnon, the Neanderthal, these root races, the Homo habilis, the Homo afarensis, etc., these were all seeded at one time by extraterrestrials, and they were left here to evolve. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, at different times, and they will come back, and what some of these extraterrestrials will do was they will upgrade them. So this is where you now get your anthropologist saying, or the Darwinian theory, where man started from Homo whatever, and then Homo erectus, then there's a massive leap. Do you know what I'm saying? And then Homo sapien. That massively, that gap is because extraterrestrials came and upgraded certain beings on the planet. Do you understand? Yeah, and then you pick it up in your story of the Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki came here 250,000 years ago, or thereabouts, with the Pleiadians. And then they did an experiment, and many experiments, not even just one experiment, because your Adam story starts at the Homo sapien level. But they don't tell you about the accounts that they did as the prototype. Do you understand? So there's many different Adams before you get to your Adam story.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were doing experiments, and some of them were left here to thrive on the planet, and some of them were wiped off the planet. But move on to 6,000 years, then you have your Adam story, then you have your Canaan story, and then these are all your different scientific names for them. Would be your Homo this, Homo erectus, Homo genus, Homo that. That's your scientific names for them. But extraterrestrials were actually adding their blueprint onto man, evolutionary man. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Just one more question, because I remember you mentioned something about leprosy.
Yeah.
And was it the Caucasian race that had that?
That's right, yeah.
Because weirdly enough, I've watched a movie about King Baldwin V.
Okay.
And he was a king that had leprosy. He was quite young. I'm assuming that's exactly what you're talking about, and he's like a
The reparation, whatever.
Yeah.
From that.
From those.
Could you just elaborate more on why they even had leprosy in the first place?
Okay. Wow. We're gonna go deep. All right. Okay. So, Pleiadians are blonde hair, blue-eyed, and pale skin. Okay. And they also added their DNA into the making of the Adamites. So when Canaan was born, Canaan was an albino of the Cushite, Hamite descendancy, but he was born an albino because in the genes of his father, he had ancestral lineage from the 200 fallen Anunnaki. Some were Pleiadians, so he had the Pleiadian gene in his DNA, and it manifested in his fourth son, Canaan. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then obviously the skin diseases and other things manifested from that because they were defective. They had defective genes.
Okay, so what was the defect that
they call it leprosy?
I understand it is leprosy,
Yeah.
but what was the catalyst for it?
Oh, the catalyst for it? The catalyst for it is that you ever seen vitiligo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's an effect of the central nervous system. So when the central nervous system is shocked to a point where it affects the epidermis layer, where the melanin is, just what I'm saying, it starts producing those melanosomes, where those packets of melanin is. And then this is what happened to Canaan. But on the etheric level, it also dropped his frequency.
So how do you spell that guy's name? Khalil, did you say?
Canaan. Canaan?
Like in the Bible?
Yeah, Canaan. Yeah. His real name was Libana. Libana, which means milky white.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The reason why he was called Canaan is because of the incident that followed, is that he moved from the lowlands to the highlands. So the beings that saw him when he moved up there called him Canaan, the one from the lowlands, because he went up to the mountains. Reason being he went to the mountains is because he needed shade for his leprous skin, because of the fact that it was, if you know anything about leprosy and heat is exposed to it, mutates, etc. It gets very agitated, etc. So he moved into those lands, and when he was up there, he then met with beings that were originally there, known as the Flugorods. There was actually another graftation.
Graftation of what?
Of Caucasians, another graftation. I told you there was different Adamite stories, which has become one story. Yeah, so these Flugorods, these Halabeens, they're known as another name for them. When you go into the German, you find the word Hulub or Halab, okay? These Halabeens were originally in the mountains, and they were created by another creator. This is where your Yaqub story comes in. Okay? Your Yaqub story ties in. And he married or took wives from that tribe, and through the copulation, it allowed, I said the frequency, I was talking about the energy and etheric level. The etheric level allowed disagreeable forces who vibrate on that frequency, these fallen angelic beings, these Nephilim. Some of them, when they fell here, they were without bodies. They became entities, spiritual entities. Do you know what I'm saying? But they needed a body. And that body frequency, or that vibrational frequency, was adaptable for them. So they were able to incarnate into the females. Because when a Caucasian or Canaanite female is pregnant, they get visited by spirit forces known as corriganes. Corriganes, yeah? You might know them as sprites, or goblins, or it sounds like we're going into
from the name of the drink.
I don't know, maybe.
Pretty sure it is.
Maybe, yeah, I remember Sprite.
Do you remember the advert
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The little goblins. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
That's right.
thinking they're not
Yeah.
looking at them.
No, no, they're not.
They're not. That was years ago as
Yeah,
well.
it's true. It's
These
true.
little green little, you know, you're probably young anyway. He's probably too young.
So with that, these sprites, okay, or these balls of light, orbs, they actually enter into the female and fuse with the developing fetus. And what happens is they become one. So these are spirit forces that are actually waiting for the birth of these children. You get what I'm saying?
What again?
There's a name for it. It's KORRIGANES. Corriganes. Yeah. Yeah. So these are spirit orbs that actually they follow the Caucasian race on the six ether forces. They actually follow them around and they incarnate into them and cause all kinds of mischief or cause them to be drunk, etc., because it feeds them. You understand?
So is
If you have a question, Okay. All right. We have a question. Okay, this is the book. You can find this in Patarak. Oh gosh, what's the Patarak called? Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Ghost. Yeah, Patarak Ghost.
You got another question? I think. Thank you. I think the question related to what we were just speaking about would be, you mentioned the sprite going into 6 ether Caucasian women when they're pregnant. I'm sure I've been in a class where we spoke about disagreeable ancestors that will wait until a child is born to kind of jump into the baby when they're being born. And that's like a disagreeable ancestor. Is that because they're 6 ether as well, or is it just the whites will go into 6 ether white?
No, the frequency is that. Remember, when you say disagreeable, no, it doesn't mean evil.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. But however, you can get us dropping to the 6 ether level. Do you get what I'm saying? If we don't have a soul.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, they can enter into Nagaru females. You with me? It's all about the vibrational resonant frequency of the baby.
If it's high enough or if it's low?
Either way. Because if you have a high frequency and a vibration of 9 ether, that's the spirit force that will be attracted to that vibration and will incarnate into the child. Do you see what I'm saying? Based off of the laws or rules in that spiritual realm, because an agreement has to be made. Do you see what I'm saying? Between the child, the unborn child, and the spirit force, that this is the child that I want to incarnate into. There's an actual agreement made.
Can that agreement be made by the parent without them knowing?
To some degree.
With
To some degree. Sorry?
With the person before they died.
It's but I don't know. I'm not too sure because the master hasn't expounded too much on that. So it's quite possible. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But this is what's taking place. So this is another reason why when any females carrying a child, do you get what I'm saying? Especially us in particular as Nagaru females, is that being in a state of calmness.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Create an environment where that child feels safe, etc. Because all of these things matter when she's carrying the fetus of a child. Between the
going to school then.
Huh?
So a lot of African American or African women when they go to there's been reports recently that in the last 2 or 3 years that African origin people, women feel unsafe in hospitals because they get a different kind of treatment, shall we say. They were threatened and saying, "Oh no, you're exaggerating," and so on. They're more likely to lose their babies.
Okay. Okay. I'm not familiar with that, but yeah. But yeah, that connection with these spiritual forces, yeah, that's what takes place in the spiritual realm before a baby is actually born. You see what I'm saying? The child will actually marry or fuse with a spiritual essence of an ancestor or being that as so that ancestor, it all depends on this mother's state of mind and her mood. If she's in an agitated state, an angry state, then the frequency and the vibration affects the baby in the fetal, I'm talking the fetal stage. Do you get what I'm saying? So that vibrational frequency of the baby changes, which means then this is what you're attracting. If your vibration is higher, you're doing your chants, you're meditating, you're, doing, positive things, then you're going to attract that ancestor. You're going to see. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. Right. Let me go on to the chat because I'm pretty sure there's quite a few chat questions from an 843. All right. Okay. Right. I have to finish the explanation of the telomeres because I don't think I finished that. So the telomeres, as I was explaining, there's 3 on each. 3 on each on the female. It should equal to 24. So do your maths. She's got two X chromosomes, 3 on each. 3 times 4, 12. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so she's got 3 on each chromosomes on the tips. And with these telomeres, what happens is that she's able to regrow them, or they also can unravel and get shorter. So the way way to understand telomeres, when you got shoelaces and you got caps at the end of your shoelaces, yeah, and then if anyone's got children, they're kicking about and the shoelace starts to remove those caps and it starts to fray.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening with your telomeres. If you're not looking after yourself, you're not living according to your natural nature. Yeah, it gets shorter and it starts to unravel. So remember, the telomeres is the cap to your DNA, your chromosomes. So within the DNA, you have there's certain what I'm looking for. There's certain traits in the chromosomes. Yeah, they're known as alleles. Yeah, so if each allele is responsible for a particular characteristic, yeah, or manifestation of something. All of this starts to get broken down. So this is what's happening when I was explaining about the Adamites. This is slowly happening to them in the morphic field, in that realm. This is taking place. So for anybody in the physical still, who's alive, know that the telomeres is like the link to your existence and longevity. So if you destroy or damage your telomeres, you're shortening your lifespan. And males, obviously, as you know, have one stem less than a female. So we have 21, while the female has 24. So she's able to rejuvenate hers because she has a menstrual cycle and she can always regrow them. That's another reason why she's the goddess, because she has certain abilities that we don't have. You understand? So I hope that explains more about the telomeres, but you can research it, have a much more deeper understanding. It's also, you can find it in, it's Goddess, Male or Female, I think that's the title. And also in Intelligent Design, Divine Design, or Plot of Aliens, you can find in there. And it's God, Male or Female, you can find in there as well. And I think there's other books as well, in actual fact books.
Ask them quick people of the
Sure, yeah. And now before I jump to another one, yeah.
I wanted to ask, when you were speaking about mitochondrial DNA and God saying that we're meant to go forth and multiply, is the agenda of the evil forces or just not necessarily living in nature, but just being affected by this environment, is stopping women with the mitochondrial DNA having children part of that agenda? And if that's the case, how are you
For who? Nagaru females or?
Nagaru females.
Okay.
How are you sure or able to, like, I guess it's the scrolls, isn't it? I was gonna say, how do you
reactivate
or if you're unable to have children,
okay,
physically, but not necessarily that, just not having children, is that a disservice on that respects in this realm, if any of that made sense?
A disservice in the sense that these Luciferians are trying to stop, or just that a Nagaru is not able to produce,
or choosing not to,
but just not able to due to
choosing not to, but also with the forces, and then
right.
Some women might have the mitochondrial DNA but not be able to have children. So is that part of the agenda? That makes sense. Is the mitochondrial DNA an important thing that women need to have and multiply?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then stopping that would be
So more the fact that being able to bind their DNA
with another.
Without our Nagaru female, because if they're able to put their DNA into the Nagaru female, it scrambles the genes. Because what the mitochondrial DNA is the gateway to being on this realm. You know what I'm saying? That's the doorway. It acts like a stargate.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So coming into being into this realm is the mitochondrial DNA. That's what it's there for. And it keeps the line, the lineage, and the history and memories of our ancestors and our past.
Yeah.
So it only takes really 2 Nagarus to actually remake the whole African race again.
Yeah.
We don't actually need that many.
Yeah.
And this is why another reason why the elders, they don't need that many. That's why when everyone says 144,000, that's such a small number. They don't really need that many. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, because we can be reproduced again by those. Yeah. So, but yeah, essentially it's they know that if the genes are scrambled and the lineage is scrambled, the access to the higher realms or the higher forces of our ancestors is cut off.
Yeah.
And our children are born deranged mentally.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Not in tune with natural nature and all. Yeah, exactly. Cut off from the ancestors.
Yeah.
So that's really the agenda.
You
understand? Yeah. Sorry, Zama, let me just get to a couple questions on here and then are you saying to accept their ways because that is who they are? Because that's who they are. They are not know you. I'm not quite. Brown Sugar, could you just repeat your reword your question because I don't quite understand. I'm trying to, but I don't want to second guess or assume.
I was just saying that, you know, like the question was, you were saying that that accept the ways that the evil ones or Luciferians distract you. So I was just saying, should we just accept them because that's who they are, not who we are?
Exactly. Don't get into their world. Like my you know, I'll give an example of my children, right? They also go to public school. And they've been introduced or exposed to different religions. You know, you got Christmas coming up, and I'm constantly obviously teaching them, and we're teaching them about their culture, etc. And what we say to them is that they have their belief, and you have what you know. Do you get what I'm saying? And you just have to accept them for what they have. This doesn't mean that they're bad people or anything like that. You just accept them for who they are. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is what you do. You just if you accept everyone for who they are, your mind will be much more calmer because you're not worried about, you know, what this person's doing, that person doing. You're not going to put your children into those kind of religions or beliefs. So that's accept who they are.
Okay.
Just like a deer accepts a lion for what it is. You know what I mean? Or is as a predator, you know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's exactly yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello?
Nantenin, Rahubat?
You're Rahubat? Yeah.
Yes. What's
So
your
I
question?
have I have the question that I send in the chat.
Oh, right. I was just getting through them, but go on, go far away, ask away.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that the Freemasons, they always say that they got their what's they say? They got this the what's it call it? Their secrecy stuff from the ancient Egypt.
That's
And
correct. That's correct.
but I know that for them it's evilness,
Yeah.
but they twisted
no.
it into evilness rather than
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what they done. Yeah.
because they are really bad.
Well, you see, the thing is, right, is that you have orders. So these orders didn't come from this planet.
Okay.
These orders came from the Sirius star constellation, the star constellation, and the Pleiadian star constellation, or
okay.
So when these extraterrestrials came here, even when you look in your Bible, there's an initiation taking place. Many people don't even realize that.
Yeah, I don't have the Bible. I grew up as Muslim, my parents, yes.
Oh, okay. But you still have your story. I'm gonna get to the story. You have Cain and Habil, yeah? And you have Cain and Abel.
Yes.
That was an actual order.
Okay.
So when they were told to put their whatchamacallit, the sacrifices of lamb, and then Cain produced his vegetables. This was actually an order they'll be initiated into.
Okay.
To test their characters, to test what loyalty they're going to give to either the beings known as Enlil or being known as Enki.
Enki.
You understand? And then these orders continued through the different families of the biblical families. So you have, as the brothers put here, the Zodokites. So you had, for instance, the names Daniel. People say Daniel, but you're looking at Daniel.
Yeah.
Ezekiel. Who's the L?
Yes.
L is Baal, or another name for Enlil. Baal was his title. So all the ones that you read, Daniel, Ezekiel, Raphael, all of these were linked to Enlil.
Yes.
That's their allegiance. Their allegiance for Enki was Jeremiah, Nehemiah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the Yahweh. You understand? So when you read God in the Bible, or God Elohim, you read, or Yahweh Elohim, you're reading the two factions of brothers who had orders on this planet. Now, as these orders obviously, I'm gonna say, evolved, they evolved to your Knights Templar, your Rosicrucians, and many other groups that came from that.
Okay.
Then the infiltration of the Masonic orders was by the Luciferians, another group.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And these Luciferians, this is where you get your Albert Pike and many others, who was the head of the Luciferian order. There was two, actually. There was a head of the Luciferian order in Europe, and there's one in America. Okay. Now, these Luciferian orders, they're infiltrated into the original Masonic orders. And they the ones that introduce your Luciferian concepts and ideas and to rule the world, because they knew that the Freemasons were builders on two levels. Builders of temples and architects, and builders of themselves, do you see what I'm saying? And builders of great things, how can I say, finance, etc. So they knew that the way to influence and infiltrate into these orders will make them very powerful.
Okay.
So when you go and research about the Illuminati,
yes, I've done my yeah.
Okay, right. So you know about the Illuminati. So the
Yes.
Illuminati, that was your Luciferian order who infiltrated into the Masonic orders.
Okay, I see.
Understand? Yeah, and they were able
Yeah.
to. They were very heavily influential. But
Okay.
you can read that in
But
Leviathan and many other books that the master teacher put out.
yeah, I mean, they are still they're the one, you know. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, they're families. These are all families. They go back
yeah, they
to-
have different types. Yeah, different type, but they are all under the Masonic, you know.
Yeah, because that's why Masonry is being tainted, because but it's been given, what's the word? Denigrated as a bad thing because of these Luciferians who have involved themselves in these orders. But really,
Okay, I see.
so I'm saying the real Masonic order was started by the ancient Egyptians. We are the original builders.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because sometimes it just hurt me to, you know, when they say stuff like that, you know, like, you know, he started from ancient Egypt, but they don't decipher, you know.
yeah, because and that's what happens where
Yeah,
a lot
so
of us
I'm
are
like,
put off
I have
because
to ask this question so I know the, yeah.
I mean there's much more to break down, but maybe in another class or
I
something.
know,
Yeah.
but I've done research on them, so
Oh,
I know
okay.
a lot of stuff where they have signs and stuff, you know.
That's right.
So yeah, and then their whole thing is about evilness. So black magics, you know,
Yeah,
about sex and all
yeah.
those
So
things.
what I'm saying is that you have to make a distinction and a
Yes.
differentiation. So you can't just say Masons. That's what I'm saying to you. Because
Yeah, I know, I
yeah,
know.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're most welcome, my sister Zamata.
Yeah.
All right, question in the audience?
Yeah, I was just trying to for you to expand on the El and the Yahweh.
Okay.
So would you say that El is the Old Testament God?
El is a title.
It's a title, yeah.
And you have, which means the source.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have Al, Ali. Okay. Where you get El Elyon. So you have two terminologies. One means the highest, and one means the source. You with me? The original deity over that was known as Anu.
Hi. Hi.
Sorry, could you mute your mic?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry.
That's all right. That's
Hold
all right.
on.
So you had the Anu, who was the head of those Anunnaki, or the Anuna. That was the original name before they came to Earth, where you get the word ki at the end,
right,
to denote that they came here to Earth. So this Anu was the heavenly one to them. He was that respected being. Also, the master explained to us that was one of many Anus, because the word Anu is a title as well. Right. You understand? Exactly. Right. So what happened was when they came here, as I said, they split up into families. Some who were loyal to Enki, some who were loyal to Enlil. And as time went on, they had families, children that they could control and manipulate. These became your tribes, known as the 12 tribes of Israel. And Abraham, if you look at his name, his original name was not Abraham. It was Ibruum, Ibru, Iba, Nibiru. It has the same root, the word Ibir in there, which means to cross over. Yeah. So Abraham, the Hebrew, the one that crossed over the Tigris and Euphrates and mixed amongst the Canaanites of that land, and he told his family not to mix in with the Canaanites because they were cursed genes.
So he crossed over to them.
So when you
to say not to mix with
no, he lived amongst them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So these were your Phoenician Canaanites. Remember I talked about Canaan?
Yeah.
He was cursed with leprosy, a genetic curse, and many degenerative diseases was in his genes. So
in Abraham, yeah?
No, in Canaan.
Canaan, okay.
So his descendancy were your Amorites, your what's that word? Amorites, Girgashites, Hittites, no, not Cushites. Cushite would be from Ham. Yeah, that was the black seed. So these dwellers who lived in the caves, they claimed, I'm trying to remember what the Jews, there's a name for the Jews, Jebusites. Yeah, these are all the 11 tribes or 11 sons of Canaan. So these Jebusites, Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, etc., they lived in that land. You understand? The language that they spoke was Phoenician. So when they saw Abraham make that crossing in their language,
when you say crossing, is he coming out of them?
He was coming from his area. Remember, Abraham was from the Ur of Chaldea, or you may not know this.
No,
But okay, so Abraham was born in a place, a Babylonian.
Right.
You understand? So he was born in a province called the Ur of Chaldea. So in the Chaldean area, he knew about the Anunnaki because they knew about worshiping them, etc. So they made a covenant with Abraham. And this is where God, that's when you read about God promising him a land. So that land that he promised him was the land of the Canaanites. And he says, I'll give you this land if you make a pact with me, a covenant, a promise that if you are able to give X amount of people as food, as chattel, as slave workers for this God character, you see what I'm saying? Then we will protect you. This is your covenant that was made.
And that's when the Abraham religion starts.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah? So that's your Abraham covenant that was made.
Okay. One more.
So, Zamal, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 12 tribes are the different type of names or do they beings?
Right. So are you talking about the tribes of Israel or Canaan?
Well, I don't know. You will explain that to
Okay.
me.
Okay. So you have the 12 tribes of Israel, which will be your Reuben, Simeon, Judah, etc., right? You familiar with those names? The Malta?
Two of them all. Two.
Okay, right.
I'm listening.
No, because you went and I couldn't hear you. So you had the 11 tribes of Canaan, okay, who came from the mountains and they followed Abraham. One of the most prominent tribes was the Jebusites and the Amorites. Okay, those are your prominent tribes. How you know this? Read Genesis chapter 15. Okay, it talks about they will be the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet fulfilled because they'll take his children, his descendants, into a land that is strange and afflict them for 400 years, which ties in with the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Dan, okay, which are also part of the African stock because they mixed in with us down the line, thousands of years, hundreds of years down the line. Does that make sense? Are you following so far?
Two of them all. Yes, I'm following.
Right. So these 12 tribes of Israel, they ended up in Egypt. They under the name Hyksos. Yeah, so when you read about the Hyksos, those will be your 12 tribes of Israel. And originally there was about X amount, I think 60 or odd that went into Egypt. And then when you read about their sojourn or their exodus, there's about 600,000 and more of them. So they've built up families, they've lived there.
Okay, so the 12 tribes go with the names.
Yes.
Okay.
The names. And also the names come with characters. Remember, a name was given because of the characters. You with me?
Okay, yes, Mom.
Okay. So those 12 tribes and their characteristics can still be found today in the rest of humanity, the Adamite race, etc. What the traits that they exhibit. But the one of the main tribes who then followed Abraham and adopted his religion was your Jews, who were your original Jebusites, one of the sons of Canaan. Okay? And these 12 tribes of Israel mixed in with the tribes of the Canaanites. The only pure seed that remained was Judah, Dan, and Kedar. Those are the pure tribe. And those pure tribes, by way of descendancy, went and mixed in with the original inhabitants that were in Ethiopia, Sudan, okay, and became the Lemba, the Bija, different tribal names that they were given because they mixed in with them, okay? And so the origin of that's another breakdown altogether, but I'm just trying to give you like an overview of where some were born as pure tribes or pure seed, and some were mixed in with the Amorites and the 11 tribes of Canaan, which would have been your Amorites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, etc. All right, and you can read about the Hittites in in history books about them being using chariots and things like that. You can actually read about the Hittites, that they were warriors. So all of this mixture, okay, produce your different tribes today, which we now know as the Celtics or your Caucasian race. Okay, that's who they are now. So your biblical name for them will be your Canaanites, or the Sabian name for them will be your Mukasu. But the name that they go by now will be your Caucasians, because they say that they originally came from the Caucasus Mountains. So hence the word Caucasian. What does the word Caucasian mean when you break it down? You're looking at the word carcass and Asiatic. So they're a mixture of Asians and what's the word? Mixed diseased lepers that mixed in the mountains hundreds of years ago, and then came down from the mountains and then mixed in with the rest of humanity and passed on their genetic defects into other tribes and other races. Okay, so this is a short version of the story of the 12 tribes and 11 tribes. Okay.
So we'll talk some more. Well said.
Any questions? Right, it says I'm an expert on secret societies. That's Sananda.
Hello?
Rahubat Nantenin, you have a question?
Yeah, one more question. So does the DNA has to do anything with children having the autism?
Oh yeah, definitely. Autism is an extra.
Because I have a son who has it, yeah, but he's kind of little advanced,
Yeah, autism is an extra chromosome, isn't it? So I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
Okay, so sometimes autism has different spectrums, but it all depends on the child and what took place. Just what I'm saying, but it's sometimes is a defective or extra chromosome, and then so that's Down syndrome. I beg your pardon. Autism is a spectrum that can affect the genes.
Okay.
Depending on the mother's mental state. You see what I'm saying? This is why we always go back to, unfortunately, the female, because she is worth a lot in the sense of what the Panatharu, our ancestors, see her and how we should be seeing her. She's a very important aspect of us as men and also us as a society, because she carries a nation. You see what I'm saying? She can carry a nation in her womb, and depending on her mental and emotional state is how children can be affected, whether whether it's a deformity. Because when you go and research about the mitochondrial DNA, you can find that there's many diseases that can manifest from the female because she carries a lot of these traits.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's unfortunate, but it does happen.
Okay.
All right.
So is there any cure for that? No?
Any cure for autism? I have the master teacher hasn't broken anything down about that in particular, but again, you have to do it on a case-by-case basis because one autistic child is not the same as another. Because
Yeah, that's
again,
true.
there's a spectrum of autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's many borders of it. Some might just be sensitive to light, some may be sensitive to noise, bang.
Mm-hmm.
Some may be sensitive to, maybe talented and they exhibit their talent in artwork. You know what I'm saying? So, some have memory that they can retain a lot of information. So there's different levels of autism. So it won't
Yeah.
be fair for me to say that's a one-stop cure for autism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Tatira falls about that.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Is there other questions on? I hope I haven't missed any questions on Zoom. Roll Kobe.
I had a question on Noah. I think I heard the master teacher say it, but I just wanted confirmation.
Sure.
Was Noah a Pleiadian, a descendant of the Pleiadians?
Yes, he had the gene pool of the Pleiadians because his mother, she was carrying the Pleiadian gene. His father took a wife from the land of Nod. So the land of Nod is where the Pleiadians, the Zeta Reticulans, all these extraterrestrials that were being invited here by Enki and Lil. They were coming here and they were mixing in with human beings. So his mother, she was an Anakite. And these Anakites were descendants of Anak, who was a Pleiadian extraterrestrial being. So the gene pool was in her anyway. Cool. And then that also got passed on to Noah. And then Noah, as the master was explaining, is that when he got drunk, those certain abilities that was dominant in him manifested, where he started to shine and glow because he was intoxicated. You can actually read this in the book of Ezekiel. I'm not Ezekiel, his name. Enoch, not Ezekiel.
Okay.
In the book of Enoch, it explains how he turned in bright and shone. So what the master is explaining is that the genes, when they're gyrating in the DNA is gyrating constantly and is giving off different illuminating fluorescence. Yeah, every time it's moving and circulating. So when he illuminated, he was naked at the time. And the children, his sons, came then to try and kind of like cover him up, etc. And in the laws of the land, you were not supposed to look on your father's nakedness. That was the laws of that land, in the land that they lived in. But obviously, Ham did that, and Ham then physically and genetically, it triggered in him. And then generations later, it manifested in their child, who was Canaan. Do you follow?
Sure. So Ham was Canaan's grandfather, right?
Ham, Tua.
Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
No, hold on. So it's been a while since I read did this any on the genealogy pool. So you have Noah, Ham. Ham had 4 children, Cush. Ham would have been the father of Cush, Canaan.
Wasn't Canaan son of Cush? Oh my God, have I got that?
No. Cush was a son of Ham, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Either way, yeah, we need to do the genealogy. I haven't had the genealogy in a while.
That's fine.
But yeah, you can. Just look in Book of Genesis. You'll see.
Was Ham's mother a Nagaru then?
Was Ham's mother Nagaru? What I remember, yes, Tua. But even though she was a Nagaru, No, in fact, she wasn't. She was a Nodite, which would have made her Hindu. Because remember, these Dravidians, okay, let me explain to you about the Dravidians or the Hindus. The original Hindus, some of them had ether, like in the characteristics or the manifestation of them. They'll be dark skin, some of them had woolly hair, etc. So as time went on, their hair got straighter and straighter. So it's through evolution that took place. If you remember about the 9 ether, when 9 ether manifests as 6 ether, the physical manifestation of that is dark skin and straight hair. But through the mixing in, she would have been of a Hindu, she would have been a Hindu by the sense that 6 ether had manifested at that time on this planet. Do you follow?
Sure.
Yeah. So the genes of the Pleiadians was in them because there's been a lot of mixtures, Amal. That's essentially what's happened. There's been a lot of mixture on the planet prior to the sons of Ham and Cush, etc., being born. So all of these genetic traits were being passed on. But when you start to understand how genes express themselves, they can express themselves in various ways through trauma, through fear, do you know what I mean? Through intoxication, through happiness, even genes are expressed through delight, do you know what I mean? Through lust, different things are manifest in genes. So when it got to the time where Hanan was going to be birthed, he would have been an albino, even though his mother was Nagaru. Do you understand? But she still had the 6 ether traits or 6 ether in her because of the mixing. Do you follow?
Tua. So, okay, just to read my last one. So,
No, go on, yeah.
So from that, right, because even when we look at the world today, there's a lot of mixing going on. So, obviously, different things could be expressed through people in different kind of ways without them really knowing. So,
precisely, yeah.
Is this to say that Wu-Sabat is what can prevent these expressions of these genes that have been mixed in with ours, if that makes sense?
Not necessarily a prevention, more of a transformation. Because what it does is it starts to recalibrate your DNA. You see what I'm saying? So it puts it back into the right sequence of you as a Natharu and you as an Etherian, and links you back into your ancestors, because that you start to make that quantum entanglement with them based on the studying of Wu-Sabat and the application of Wu-Sabat. And then your genes start to get recalibrated and reconfigured back into your supreme state as a being. Yeah, so that ladder is being reconstructed. So you can look at it as a prevention, but also look at it also as a protection as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tua.
Okay. Right, we've got 9 minutes, people. There's a mention here. Okay, I'm an expert on spiritual societies. Any other questions?
Yes, I got a question.
Yes, so who's speaking? Rahubat?
Ramesses.
Oh, Rahubat Ramesses.
Yeah. You know the Nadaru, yeah?
The Panatharu, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Would you say a lot of people take them for a joke?
Our Panatharu taken for a joke? Only if you don't acknowledge them. But yeah, I guess that's, if you want to put in layman terms, yeah, they've been taken for a joke, yeah.
But really and truly, It's not a joke. They're not a joke.
No, the Pagatharu are far from being a joke. However, because of the execution of the principle of divine love, hence why we're still alive. Their ability to show the utmost of love and compassion to their children is why we're still alive. And they've constantly sent us warners, constantly, whether it's in the form of Bob Marley, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, all the way down to the forerunner, those forerunners down to the person who's now in the body, the physical being that's amongst us now, Dr. Malachi Z. York. They've been constantly sent. Dr. Ben Yohanan, Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and the list goes on. Yeah, these were all in some shape or form in their own academic profession were conveying something to wake us up on a constant basis. Our ancestors, Panatharu, have been sending warners or people to stir that gene, stir that memory, stir those divine forces that's in us to let us know, no, you're not this, you are this. You know, but because of the spell of sleep, the spell of Leviathan, and knowing and being aware now that because we've got different DNA that are constantly at war with each other, it's why it makes the job ever so hard. Do you know what I mean? Because 1 minute we're awake and then we fall back asleep. 1 minute we're awake, then we fall back asleep. And to keep that consistency going, Pana Babylon has given 2 things to say that he said: read, 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 teach, teach, teach. The more you read and the more you apply, and the more you teach, the more you apply, you create a circuit, you create a memory, you create an unfolding of DNA, you create all of these things that's going on. He's literally transforming us from the inside out without us even realizing when you start to apply Wu-Sabat to your life. You know? And obviously the most 2 important things that has been stated, love and unity. Because that's what our Panatharu are about, is love and unity. When love and unity starts to be magnified amongst our race, the Etherians, they will see and feel their children when they start to come to this realm. Because we're only going to align with them when we raise our frequency. Some of us are doing it, but it's not on the scale. You see what I'm saying? It's not on the magnitude. Because when you go back to the Holy Tablets, if you had the opportunity to read the Holy Tablets, it says in there, if there was enough entities that were awake, then the galactical forces will remove all the different 6 ether forces off the planet. But we have to say, we want this to happen. We have to, as the title of this, become divine. We have to own our power. Become who we're spiritually grown to be. We're not human beings. That's something I'm going to leave, you know, in the master's. We're deities, but we're actually just incarnate into this skin suit because some of us have done it 10,000 times. Some of us have done it 20,000 times. Some of us have done it 30,000 times. But he said none of us have done it 90,000 times. But we've all had to redo the school again because somewhere down the line, we didn't make the grade. And then we had to restart again to remember who we are and to perfect our being. Perfect your being. Own your power. Become that supreme being. Link into Wu-Sabat because Wu-Sabat is doing more than what you think it is. Last burning questions. I hope that answered your question, my brother.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there's a new question. And I do apologize I didn't get to all your questions. There's other student teachers, you can ask them, or we have our OSM platform. If you're not a member of that, please join. There's brothers and sisters from all the different continents, really, well, pretty much covering different time zones, should I say. So we aim to reply back, respond, you know, and it keeps us sharp as well. It keeps us sharp with the questions, you know. We're also building ourselves up, you know, and increasing in knowledge and listening to the master teacher applying. So yeah, that platform is really good for your questions. You have Tuesdays with Brother Seken Saham Reye. Okay, every Tuesday. He has his Ask Us Anything on OSM. We have on Thursdays our study class, study reading. Okay, those who are familiar with it. Again, it's free of charge, all of this. You can find us on Zoom, TikTok, other platforms, which I can never remember. I'm sure Saken's probably going to probably say, yes, these ones. On YouTube. Yeah, find us. Log on, you know, ask your questions. Become a supreme being. Link into your race as supreme beings. Help humanity. Raise the consciousness of humanity. That's our job. Okay? Any last burning questions? I'm going to see if I can see one in the chat, but I don't think there is one here. Okay, there's a question. Are Caucasians telomeres programmed to unravel after a period of time? Yes, it is. After they have the 6,000 years for their telomeres to unravel and for them to die out as a species. And nature is taking care of that by way of their destruction now on the planet. If you look what's happening, this is all part of nature and extraterrestrials at work, okay, to eliminate the population of the planet. Okay, and also they're also food as well. Don't forget, there's a food aspect to this. Some extraterrestrials eat humans as food. Okay, so you have to bear that in mind as well, why these wars are happening. Okay, somebody's put here a few scrolls. The mind book. Okay, yeah, you can get the mind book. That's very helpful with today's class. Yeah, Panatharu are not to be played with. That's all right. Danakil, Judahites. Okay, Tautat Reyes Ananda for adding your input. Okay. Right. I don't know. Start asking last burning questions. It's neither. Okay. I like to say, Tawakum Lahe Ya Toy Pa Kayat. Thank you for coming to class. Okay, Panin's Masut this evening. See, I'm still learning my Miss Batia, but I'm attempting to speak it. I'm not afraid to speak my language. And that's the same as well. As part of the becoming a divine being is learn your language. It's doing a lot to the mind, the brain, and your essence. With that, Moshiar, I'd like to say thank you, take care, see you next time, and be divine. Wadu.
Thank you.
Thank